set course to Starbase Vegas. Head Mask Factor 1. Today on Trekland Tuesdays Live, Monday edition. Yes, Monday. Hope everybody made it here. Hey, it's Dr. Trek, Larry Nemecek. This is episode 219 of Trekland Tuesdays Live, coming to you on Monday because, yeah, we're traveling to Trek Vegas, which is still officially hashtag STLV. And no matter what day it is, we're always trying to bring you some clarity, sanity, and the big picture in everything Star Trek. Hey, everybody. Thank you. Hopefully you found us here on Monday. I warned you last week. And of course, it's a crazy week getting out of town. I'm going a day ahead because tomorrow's a travel day. Today is full of all kinds of things like misplaced texts and things shipped, not picked up. And now the glossy stock didn't come in. And will he have postcards? Ooh, all kinds of mysteries that I'm only going to solve in the next 24 hours. But meanwhile, I want to thank everybody in our Patreon for once again helping us out. And I've got a surprise. I've got a topic today and a surprise unboxing. Hey, everybody. Good to see everybody. If you're new, jump in. You can chat while I'm talking and meet some new folks. We've got a great TTLers community over here. Course set for Trek Vegas. We're ahead Max Factor 1, not Max Factor, but Mask Factor 1, because, you know, Clark County, Nevada, the home of Las Vegas, is under a really severe spike. You've got so many people traveling, many of them from areas where nobody thinks a vaccination is important or whatever the reason is. But the worst parts of the country are still taking vacations because they don't care and they're in Vegas. And that's what's making it almost impossible to deal with it. Just probably part of the same reason why we've got that kind of a spike here in LA County too, a lot of vacationers. But people who are anxious to get back to normal, hey, I know the feeling. That's what's going on with Trek Vegas this year, which is such a crossroads. Now, I know a lot of you, most of you, are not going to be there. A lot of you weren't planning to be there at all. Some of you were making big plans and things got in the way. National shutdowns, travel bans from Canada to across Europe and beyond. A lot of you were coming from across the states and decided not to. And I totally get it. Part of the reason we're still going is we drive. And I feel like I have a little more control over things. And best of all, I'm not mixing in an airport, which can be 10 times worse than mixing in a single hotel once you get there. And Trek Vegas is the kind of thing that once you go, it's not like your typical pharmacy rep or CPA who's at his convention. You're pretty much staying at the hotel there and maybe getting out once or twice. Sadly, a lot of the sidebars, a lot of the fun people and events aren't going to make Trek Vegas this year. What's bittersweet is that between what's happening at the Rio, Creation Entertainment losing its longtime license to Reed Pop, and yet determining, and with an affiliation with CBS or Paramount Plus, still the licensing arm, still going ahead and having some interaction. It's not like they're going to be out in the cold. They're not a black sheep wandering around. They'll still have interaction, just not the cream of the crop that it's evolved into the last 8 years or so. Nope. It'll go back to Trek Vegas the way it was in the aughts. 2010, 2011, 2012. That's not as much of an issue. There'll be some bells and whistles that aren't there, but it'd still be the core thing. This is the last year it may be at the Rio Hotel where it's been for the last 10 years or so, since the Hilton lost the convention after the Experience closed down and a couple of experiment years, went away. Part of the issue in Vegas is the convention space overall, without being boring and isolated and still halfway usable for folks. There is the Las Vegas Convention Center, which is adjacent to the Hilton, which had its own facilities, just the same way the Rio has its own facilities. So I know I'm in the weeds here about Vegas convention planning, event planning, but the issue is there's only so many spaces. Creation's already talked about where they want to move to. It's the place they had scheduled for the December event before it got pushed aside with COVID, pandemic precautions and shutdowns. So the new home, while the Rio is being refurbished, is already there. Will it come back to the Rio? Will the Rio look the same, have the same owners, have the same price structure? That's all in the future. So on top of the COVID crazy, we've got the future of the Rio being in doubt. And overall, what it means is to longtime STLV goers, this was a big emotional pull about will it ever be this way again? And then you take away that we didn't have it last year. 2019, people had no idea that was the last year a normal looking STLV might look. So there's all kinds of emotional, sentimental factors at play here pulling on people, even if the pandemic precautions and the spike that we've seen all over the country, the spike is really bad in Clark County. So am I a fool for going? Maybe. Janet was going to go with me for the first time in ages, decided not to, mainly because of the kids. And again, the kid factor is what's going on here. If kids could get their vaccinations, whole families would feel better about it. Whole families would just merely look with disdain at people who didn't want to get a shot, not outright disgust. I'm sorry, I'm saying that, but it's dragging our levels down, and we're never going to get out of the mud with this thing. And when we get to the point where, I know some people are waiting for the not emergency labeling, maybe that will help some folks. I realize a lot of people are needle averse. I realize a lot of people would love to take this on a sugar cube. We're dealing with all kinds of hardcore now. We get to the end. If we could just get the kids vaccinated, the under 12s vaccinated, that would do wonders for our numbers. That would do wonder. I just saw my granddaughter this weekend, and we were still masking because we're vaccinated, but she's not, and she's in her daycare and about to go to public school go to kindergarten with the big kids in a couple of weeks. So it's a mess. It is a mess. It's a mess, and it's an uneven mess. What's amazing is what it means for us, all trooping off to, I expect it to be not a shell of its former glory, but greatly diminished. We have none of the global fans coming, and a chunk of the Yanks aren't choosing to come. So we'll see. When I was finally put up on the guest wall, I think it was guest 114, and I looked the other day and I was guest 104. Yeah, there have been some more pullouts among the guests and the talent. There's still obviously a big chunk of people coming. Again, it's just this tug between people wanting to get out, do something. They feel like they lost 2020. And most of all, it's going to be one big social experiment. Most of the Trek fans are pretty much, they do believe in science and rationality, and somewhere between Spock and Data, they're kind of like pegged to it. And Clark County, no matter what your reason for being there is, it's all masking all the time now in public, and especially in large areas like the casinos and the hotels. And we're apparently going to be doing this entire thing with masks up unless you're drinking and eating, which I realize could be a considerable chunk of time, but we will see. Of course, what's troubling this is the troubling spike, even when you're vaccinated, about knockdown, breakthrough cases with folks, even if they're not sick, just being a carrier and carrying it back to your loved ones, like your little ones. So that's part of the puzzle. Part of the puzzle. There's the COVID puzzle, there's the emotional puzzle, and we're going to set sail and be smart about it. And I feel a little better because I've got a car. I can do things. A lot of people talking about spending time in their hotel rooms, a lot more than they normally would have, and not being the 6-hour masquerade bar hangout or iBar hangout there in the Rio. We'll see. A lot of people are thinking more about small groups of people they know, hanging more in their rooms or in smaller clusters. There's some adjacent fast food places off-site, which may be a help there. Not to get into the weeds again, but I mean, we are looking forward to going and, seeing people, even if we're only seeing half a face at a time, seeing folks live that we didn't see last year, seeing our favorite creators, star power, face power, hearing from a lot of creatives and creative minds. I've got 3 or 4 panels as we finally evolved it. I have not checked in the last 2 or 3 hours, but the schedule was still awaiting, probably because of, my God, Stephanie and the bunch at Creation are probably pulling their hair out, trying to keep the schedule together. We're having a Roddenberry stage this year, which was originally the Roddenberry stage, then CBS took it over, but it was still good. It was, authors and science folk and a lot of interesting people, licensees talking about their products on the smaller stage. That's still going to be around. Guys, gals, peeps, it's just going to be a big adventure this year. Hopefully we can all be smartly navigating things. I don't know if you're going, if you're in the chat. A lot of folks are already there, or they're in transit right now. We'll have our Portal 47 live dive. One of the perks of Portal 47 is that at least once a year, if one of our Portales and me overlap at a con, it's a round of drinks and some snacks on the portal, on me. That's their one live perk we have, unless they can come make a trek, which we haven't done in a year and a half, but hopefully those will be opening up too, where we can go visit film sites on my day tours. The one you could always count on was the live dive, and of course Vegas is the biggest live dive. We have 15, 20 people there at Vegas, so I'm looking forward to our Portales tribe there. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody, doing our landing party on Con Eve on Tuesday night, which is tomorrow night. It's going to be interesting. And of course, if you're not there, the CBS team won't be there in force because it's not official. So a lot more will be fans sharing live. Gang, I will do what I can to share some, not panels per se, but if there are moments, I'm especially going to do some flash Trekland reports live from just what it looks and feels like. Are people really staying masked? Are we having any mask fights? I mean, hopefully not. Hopefully it all goes well. Hopefully it feels like something you were thrilled to come to. And the numbers are still there. It'll still be several hundred, several thousand people. Just how big will be interesting. It's going to be very interesting to see what the dealer's room feels like. The vendor's hall, the exhibition hall feels like, much less the sidebar places. There are some folks, maybe even some who are on today with us, who are coming to their first Trek Vegas ever, and it's this year. So it'll be interesting to hear what those folks have to say. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I'm coming. Scott's going to be there with me, with my, he's coming on his own with his entourage, but I'm going to have an assistant for the first time ever. What a year to have a change that way too. So it's really a nexus of all kinds of layers and feelings this year. So there'll be minuses, there'll be some pluses. It will be interesting. It will be interesting. We truly are going where no fan has gone before. Hopefully smarter. Hopefully we've got our shields up. Hopefully we'll have long range and short range scans going 24/7. We'll see. We'll see. And hopefully I will get to, if Kalis Willen and the Romulans don't jam signals too high, hopefully we'll have some lives out through the week and give you a taste of what's going on. So stay tuned to your favorite Trekland channel and we'll see what's happening, kiddos. Okay. Again, there won't be a CBS team there per se. Maybe not quite as much of a deluge. I know though, there's plenty of other good Trek folk out there. They'll be shooting video and trying to get it up as soon as they can. People may be live tweeting the panels. Fandom is awesome. And our burgeoning fan media here of the last 10 years, our Trek fan media, may help fill in the gap there and bring you some of the headlines. Hopefully we will still have headlines. You know, the entire cast of Discovery had to cancel, and several of them were coming because they're just running late with production. They're starting to wrap now, but it's just borderline. So that was a big loss right there over the last couple of weeks. And I hadn't looked lately. It got down to maybe Brent of the only Next Gen cast. I mean, if all you do is look at headliners, of course that's a concern, especially if you're a first timer and you want to see your heroes live. For those who have been around the block 2 or 3 or 4 times, it's not so much about that, is maybe the shared panels and experiences, or who the up and coming, who's making their first appearance, and who in 55 years of guest starring Trek, who is finally making their first appearance, or maybe their first time after a long period. And of course, creation loves to find those too. So as with any convention, after you've been once or twice, or even if once you've been there one day, you'll find out that it's always about the people. It may not always be the people on stage. It may be the people standing right next to you in a long line, or right around your seat, or who you go down and find at one of the after hours locations, or who you come to see at their table. So here we go. Here we go. Hopefully things will all go well, and hopefully we can all let everyone else know how it's going down. Now, I promised a surprise unboxing I've had this for 2 weeks. I may be the last one in the world to do it, but want to make sure and share with you the latest from CBS, Paramount Plus. Oh, I just did it, and I didn't. Did you hear me unwrap? You heard the sound, right? I didn't do it on camera. Silly me. Here, rip. No, this is Bing. I know Lower Decks is debuting this week, but it's the season 3 box for Discovery. The year that I think Discovery found itself. I think the year that Discovery finally got up on top of its Acme rocket shoes as borrowed from Wile E. Coyote. I mean, I could read you the Blu-ray. This has been available since July 20th. You may even find all kinds of sales now, all kinds of special features as you're wanting to accept. I will read you a short list of the special features. A lot of behind the scenes, obviously, stuff. The Voyage of Season 3. A special feature with the stunt folks. See, so many of the creatives that work on Discovery are all Toronto-based. Some are LA-based. I mean, the writers and poster here, but a lot of the active stage people, from extras to who's working on stage, they're Canadian. That's part of the shoot in Canada. Portlandia. That's part of the shooting in Canada. You know, that's part of their demand. That's part of the contract. It's giving employment to Canadians. I won't even say my line about, God meant for Star Trek to be made in LA, because I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled for Canada to be sharing in the Star Trek bounty. It's a special with Sonequa, talking about this season-long journey, the arc of Michael Burnham for season 3. Oh, and a special focus with Ken Mitchell from Vogue and Beyond, right? The Bridge, a special on The Bridge, a exclusive interview with Michelle Paradise, who has been the showrunner now for a year and a half. And, of course, the deleted scenes, and, of course, the gag reel, which is not meant to make you gag. It's what the sophisticated industry it's like not calling them the promos. We call them trailers in the industry. Well, the blooper reel is actually called the gag reel. So it doesn't really want to make you gag unless you're gagging with laughter. Seriously, folks, the Discovery Season 3 is here. This is the Blu-ray. Yay. I saved the steel books for the big collectors. The year that Discovery really did turn the corner and people saw the potential that the series had, put them in their maybe the century they were born to be in all along. Ooh, Fate. Ooh, Predestination. And, of course, the launching of Michelle Yeoh's Georgiou character into the vast unknown, which will hopefully turn out to be Section 31, which, as Alex recently stated, is not permanently out of the bullpen. It's still on deck to be a series, along with Academy 90210. Oh, excuse me. Starfleet Academy series. With Stephanie Savage, apparently. We'll see, though, where that led. So, if you missed it, I know you're anxiously awaiting Lower Decks coming Thursday. My God, that's just in 3 days. So, Thursday or Friday, depending on your, nation of residence. So, in the meantime, in between episodes, you can catch up with Discovery Season 3, which is down the pike. Will Prodigy be the next one? After this? Could be. And then we're into live action. Maybe Discovery will be the third in a row. Well, here, COVID's just made a muck out of schedules. Whatever you do, though, you can hit up Amazon, hit your favorite DVD place of choice. All the tech is there. But the bonus features, there's over 2 hours of bonus features, as you would expect. They're shooting everything now. Nothing goes to waste. We used to have to pick up the scraps. Even for next gen, even for Enterprise, things went digital. No one was thinking about the future the way corporately they are now, and good on that. Because it's hard out here scraping up things like, a surprise that if you're at Vegas, and especially if you're connected to the Voyager documentary, a little surprise I scraped up. Enjoy it. It's out, and hopefully all the rest of them will be along pretty soon, and hopefully we'll be seeing season 4 Discovery before the next pandemic rolls around, okay? But I'm so glad everybody was with us today. I especially, of course, want to thank all of our TTL Club here on our Patreon. This is the new month edition. Hey, Blaze K, Robin Wilson, Lawrence Todd, Anne-Marie Siegel, Blake Arledge, Justin Porteous, Nathaniel Robinson, and J.R. Poole. Welcome back. Steve Harold, Halbjorn Gunn Johnson, Jalen Bullock, Robert McLean, Alan Hohensi, welcome. and Casey Shafsky, of course. Casey, one of the many I'm looking forward to missing, sadly, at STLV. Lots of folks look forward to seeing every year who won't be there. But just a reminder, we've got this. We always have Tuesdays, even if it's Monday. And every other way we can connect. I want to thank all those Patreons for helping us out here. Patreon.com/Trekland Live is where you can go. Mine is very simple. I do not crowdfund the heck out of this. We have so many other projects in Trekland. I keep it to $5 and $10 a month. They take it out. It's very simple if you've never Patreon before. It's a great way. You can find all kinds of creatives there to support ongoingly or, project by project. And thanks so much. Everybody gets a shout out. The $10 folk, the live wires, get access to our original early year Portal 47 backstage interview nights, guest nights. And yes, I am way behind on that. But before we go, just wanted to remind everybody, this is the Gene Roddenberry Centennial Year. So #ThinkTrek. You can be part of it. Check it out at roddenberry.com and click on the link. COVID messed up so much of the live celebration that a lot of it's online, and you can check that out. His 100th birthday is actually August 19th coming up. And one more shout out here for our friend Michael Braveheart, who was Nurse Martinez, Dr. Crusher's right hand, but silent nurse for all the years and half the movies. He's had some medical issues and housing issues. Now, he's had a GoFundMe up of $5,000. Had a setback a couple weeks ago, and we've had a spurt on. So check him out. Friends of Michael Braveheart at GoFundMe.com. Almost all of his donors have been from the Trek community. He was teaching acting until COVID hit. We'll see how this goes down. But if you can spare a little bit for Michael, for all that he, ironically enough, did in sickbay alongside Dr. Crusher, including his first year with Dr. Pulaski, technically. He started second season. Meanwhile, I love doing Life Support Live. Dr. Trek and Dr. Ali, one of us, is a real doctor on Saturdays. You should be on our page anyway, and you can hear all we go boldly through uncertain times, which apparently started with the pandemic, but is not about to abate anytime soon. So the Trek Files, however, is very much up and going. Tomorrow, usually it's just happened, but tonight at midnight Pacific, in the wee hours, there'll be a new episode back with the great Ralph Sinensky, original series director of note, who is still with us at 98 and still sharp on his details. And we talk about the only time a Star Trek director has been fired. Guess who it was? Yes. It's an amazing situation. And of course, we've got some digital homework for you, because it's the Trek Files. Check it out at the Trek Files on Facebook. And Twitter is just the Trek Files if you tweet about us, okay? You can get all the Roddenberry podcasts at podcast.roddenberry.com. Love if you could go over and do that. Otherwise, as always, where you're watching me on YouTube, that's my Twitter at Larry Nemecek. My Instagram is the same as the Facebook where you might be. Otherwise, hey, we'd love for you to have a mini-con with us all year long. All the features monthly of portal47.net. Check it out. We get through this live con. We get through Trek Vegas. I get through Salt Lake City. Then all eyes are on our open house, which is the day every year we throw open the gates of Portal for the public. Everybody can come with an awesome guest. We're going to be announcing the guest here in a few weeks. October 20th, it'll be our 6th anniversary open house for Portal, and that's amazing. More on that later, just letting you know for now. And also for now, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, I know I'm going to be doing this. Do what you can. Do all the things and stay safe. And while you're at it, please stay woke. And I mean by that, pay attention to the sources. Open your eyes. Don't go to sleep. Most of all, though, pay attention to who might be stirring up, who might be spreading misinformation. Stay woke, yes, racially, socially, but also just pay attention to who's putting out what. Check the account of the person that's pissed you off before you waste your time ranting, because that's exactly what they want. They want to wear you out, exhaust you, cause you to lose interest in the thing that gives you joy. That's what this low-level crap is all about. Guess what I'm saying here is, everybody, if you're leaving us now, trek well, everybody.